Namaste Gurukulians. How are you dear students? Hope you will be fit and fine. I am Subhas. Today we will study class 11th business studies and the chapter which is going on is 2.5 company organization. So this is final part 4 of this chapter. Dear students, we were discussing the topic OPC, one person company. OPC is a company which is established by a single person. The single person is the sole owner who controls the company, who takes decisions for the company, and all profit is also goes to his own pocket. It is like as a sole proprietorship. The only difference between sole proprietorship and one person company is that OPC is a part of organized sector. Its registration is compulsory. So we have discussed what is an OPC, what are the features of OPC. Now the next topic is formation of OPC. Yeah, what is the process of formation of OPC? So to form a one person company, first of all, the name of the company is decided. Because the business can be run in the form of a company with a particular name. So that person who established such company, he has to decide the name. And one thing more, a word OPC in bracket must be kept with the name of the company. अब मान लीजिए एक कंपनी का नाम है Lexia Exports, तो in bracket OPC will be written, one person company, so that it can be identified from its name that it is one person company. And one more point about its formation is appointment of nominee. Because the company has a feature of stable existence, you can say permanent existence. The life of a company is stable, it will continue in future for a long time. Because in OPC there is only one person. If by chance he dies, then who will continue the company? So the one person, or you can say the director, has to appoint a person who will be the nominee. Nominee means that person will continue the company after the death of the director. And a written consent is to be required from that nominee, that person is ready to become a nominee and he will continue the company after the death of the director. So a nominee is to be appointed. And when such company is registered, and OPC is registered with Registrar of Companies, 3 documents are to be submitted with registrar. One is Memorandum of Association, second is Articles of Association. ये जो 2 डॉक्यूमेंट हैं, Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association, we will discuss in next chapter in detail. The preparation of these documents is compulsory to register a company. And third is written consent of the nominee. जो नॉमिनी अपॉइंट किया है उसकी रिटर्न कंसेंट, लिखित में सहमति. These 3 documents are to be submitted with the Registrar of Companies. After it, a company can be incorporated or registered. And if the Registrar of Companies is satisfied with the information provided to him, documents deposited with him, so he will register the company in a register kept by him and issue a certificate which is called as Certificate of Incorporation. So after getting this certificate, a company start its business. Next topic is advantages of OPC. जो one person company है, it have some advantages. So these advantages are, first is limited liability. Like as other companies, private company or public company, The liability in case of one person company is also limited. It means the liability of director or member is limited up to his share. उसने जितना पैसा कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट किया है, जो उसकी पेड अप कैपिटल है, उतने अमाउंट तक उसकी लाइबिलिटी लिमिटेड है. इन केस ऑफ हैवी लॉसेज he has to pay the amount only up to his share capital, not more than that. And next is good alternative of sole proprietorship. Good alternative of sole trade. We have discussed sole trade. One of the limitation of sole trade was unlimited liability. Second, it was a part of unorganized sector. So to remove that limitation, a one person company came into existence under which the liability of member is limited, and it also comes under the category of organized sector, under which all the privileges and exemptions are provided to one person company, which is not available to sole trade. So it is a good alternative for sole proprietorship business. Now third is sole shareholder. In one person company, there is only one person who invested the money, who is also called as shareholder. So whatever profits are earned by OPC, all profits will goes to his own pocket, because there are no other members who will participate in profit, who will participate in dividend. So it is the advantage that whatever profit is earned by the company, that profit will goes to the profit of the only one member. So he will make more efforts, he will work hard. Next, sole director. In one person company, there is only one director. देखो minimum number of directors is 1 and maximum is 15. But when the company is started by a single person, the single person invest money, why he give chance to others to take decision? Why he made others as director? So there is only one director, he take decision for the company, no need to take permission from any company, no need to take advice from other persons. So this is the benefit, because all decisions are taken by the single director himself. And next is more logical. More logical is in the sense, earlier the company which was in existence was private company. In a private company, minimum number of members were 2. When a single person want to start a company, he has to make another person as a dummy member. That's why OPC came into existence. So it is a logical manner to establish a company where a single person is running a company and there is no fake members. It is more logical. And one more advantage is entry in an organized sector. Entry in an organized sector. OPC is the alternate of sole proprietorship, and sole proprietorship was a part of unorganized sector for which government has no record. The government can't make policies for such trade for which government has no data. So when an OPC is established, registration is compulsory and all the informations the government is having, many statements are to be sent to registrar of companies, to central government, to company law board. So it is a part of organized sector. The government make better policies for such kind of business. Next topic is disadvantages of OPC. Disadvantages of OPC. Apart from advantages, there are some limitations also. So these limitations include, first, more formalities. When we want to establish a one-person company, many legal formalities are to be fulfilled. Many types of documents are to be prepared. Many kinds of contracts are to be signed. Registration is compulsory, and registration of a company is also a very complex process. So we can say, to start a one-person company, many types of legal formalities are to be followed. Second is shortage of resources. In case of OPC, all money is invested by a single person, and if you want to run a large size business, he can't arrange large funds. So this is the limitation, that a single person cannot arrange large amount of capital. He always lacks financial resources. And last, third is unbalanced decisions. In one-person company, all the decisions are taken by a single person who is the sole director. So sometime when a single person take all the decisions, because a single person cannot be expert in all the matters, so sometimes the decisions taken by single person may prove to be wrong. क्योंकि जब हम कई बार कंसल्ट करके एडवाइस लेके डिसीजन लेते हैं तो वो डिसीजन बेटर होता है. So the decisions taken by a single person sometime may prove to be wrong, unbalanced. And last topic in this chapter is difference between public and private company. Public and private company. Earlier we have discussed both the companies, public company and private company. So we will differentiate between both the companies on the basis of some points. So first point is number of directors. In case of a public company, मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स रिक्वायर्ड आर 3, कम से कम 3 डायरेक्टर जरूरी हैं. जबकि प्राइवेट कंपनी में मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स आर 2, कम से कम 2 चाहिए. मैक्सिमम के लिए कोई इट इज़ नॉट गिवन इन कंपनी लॉ बोर्ड, कंपनीज एक्ट में गिवन नहीं है कि मैक्सिमम कितने हो सकते हैं. मिनिमम के लिए है इन पब्लिक कंपनी मिनिमम 3, इन प्राइवेट कंपनी मिनिमम 2. नंबर 2, नेम. With the name of a public company, the word limited is used, like Tata Motors Limited. While with the name of a private company, the word private limited is used, like Tata Motors Private Limited. So with the name, you can easily identify a company, whether it is private company or public company. Third, number of members. So in case of a public company, minimum number of members is 7 and maximum no limit. कम से कम 7 मेंबर हों, मैक्सिमम कितने भी हो सकते हैं. While in private company, minimum number of members is 2 and maximum 200. कम से कम 2 और मैक्सिमम 200 ये हो सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट, इन्विटेशन टू पब्लिक. A public company always invite the general public to purchase, to subscribe its shares. कोई भी जो पब्लिक कंपनी है, पब्लिक को, आम जनता को अपने शेयर खरीदने के लिए इनवाइट करती है, अपने शेयर्स पब्लिक को सेल करती है, इशू करती है. While a private company never invites the general public to subscribe its shares. Next, transfer of shares. In case of a public company, the members can easily transfer their shares in favor of other person. पब्लिक कंपनी के शेयर होल्डर किसी को भी अपने शेयर सेल कर सकते हैं, ट्रांसफ़र कर सकते हैं, गिफ्ट कर सकते हैं. कंपनी इम्पोजेज नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन. वाइल इन केस ऑफ ए प्राइवेट कंपनी, एक कंपनी इम्पोजेज कंप्लीट बैन ऑन ट्रांसफ़र ऑफ शेयर्स. प्राइवेट कंपनी के जो शेयर होल्डर हैं वो कभी भी अपने शेयर सेल नहीं कर सकते. और नेक्स्ट, इश्यू ऑफ प्रोस्पेक्टस. प्रोस्पेक्टस कंपनी का एक डॉक्यूमेंट है. थ्रू प्रोस्पेक्टस ए कंपनी इनवाइट्स द जनरल पब्लिक टू सब्सक्राइब इट्स शेयर्स. इट इज़ लाइक एज एन एडवर्टीजमेंट. जैसे आप किसी कॉलेज में, स्कूल में एडमिशन लेते हो तो प्रोस्पेक्टस खरीदते हो, उस प्रोस्पेक्टस में उस इंस्टीट्यूशन की सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है. इन द सेम वे ए कंपनी प्रोवाइड्स कंप्लीट इन्फॉर्मेशन थ्रू प्रोस्पेक्टस टू द जनरल पब्लिक. तो फॉर ए पब्लिक कंपनी इट इज़ कंपल्सरी टू इशू प्रोस्पेक्टस, क्योंकि वो पब्लिक को शेयर परचेज करने के लिए इनवाइट करती है. वाइल फॉर ए प्राइवेट कंपनी इट इज़ नॉट कंपल्सरी. कोई भी प्राइवेट कंपनी प्रोस्पेक्टस इशू नहीं करती, क्योंकि वो पब्लिक को शेयर सेल ही नहीं करती. एंड लास्ट इज मिनिमम पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल. मिनिमम पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल. इन केस ऑफ ए पब्लिक कंपनी, मिनिमम पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इज ₹5 लाख. कोई भी पब्लिक कंपनी है उसकी कम से कम पेड अप कैपिटल, उसमें जो मनी इन्वेस्टेड है 5 लाख कम से कम हो, जबकि ये जो लिमिट प्राइवेट कंपनी के लिए है वो 1 लाख है. इन ए प्राइवेट कंपनी मिनिमम पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इज ₹1 lakh. So this is this much about this chapter. We have completed this company organization, and in next chapter 2.6 we will study how a company is established, how a company is created, what is the procedure to bring a company into existence. So we will discuss these topics in next chapter. Till then students, goodbye, have a nice day.